Hello and welcome to the power of connection. I'm just going to do this. Okay. Making sure I'm recording. Yes. Okay. So if you are okay. So no one is on yet, but it is 6:30 and it is dinner time. I know that I put these on very rough times for people if you are busy with either work and or family. So apologies for that, but hopefully you can watch the recording at some point. Yes, just making sure. Yes, it's definitely recording. So welcome to my webinar on the power of community and connection. I feel very strongly about connecting with people and finding my people and building a community around me. Because I'm an expat. My family on the right there, all back in the UK, and so I have to build connections and foster new relationships and communities because I'm here living my best life, but not with the social support systems that I started with when I was younger. So it's very important to me, and also I went through a brief stage of loneliness and self-isolation last year. It was a very dark time, so I had to build myself out of that. And I've always known that human connection and my friends and my family are part of my identity. And so, but the research that I've done as well means that has tenfold cemented the idea that it's important to all of us. Humans are social creatures. So I'm just here really to reinforce that today, and hopefully you get some good takeaways of what you can be doing, or the fact that if you are feeling lonely, that you're not alone feeling lonely, but also that if you feel that things are slipping away, or that if you're one of those people that thinks that you don't need anyone, I'm here to tell you that there's science behind it, that we are not an island. We are social creatures. We love to connect. It's in our DNA, and so yeah. I'm here to change your mind, really. So what do I want you to take away from this? I will talk a little bit more about the good life, or the Harvard study. But what I want you to take away is that a good life is built on good relationships. And that was said in a TED talk by Dr. Robert Waldinger, and he is the 4th director of the longest running study on adult development. So it's not, good life isn't fame and fortune and anything like that. And I think in this global health pandemic that we've got, where we are sort of shifting our focus on what's important in life. So I think that this webinar's come at an apt time, but I just want to reinforce it a little bit more. I also want to talk to you about meaningful connection. When I put it out there to Instagram about what connection was, I had a few funny things come back about trains and about Wi-Fi. But connection isn't just connecting on Instagram, like for like, or follow for follow, or sending a direct message. Connection is something deeper and stays with you for longer. It's a feeling. So I really want to help you understand that today and maybe give you some ideas on how to connect better with people. And I want you to understand why or how community can help you with your overall well-being, and what to do if you're feeling lonely. So we'll go from community and building that, and I'll talk to you about how feeling lonely can be detrimental to your well-being. So I'll give you some advice on what to do if you're feeling lonely, but also advice on how to build a community and why it's important. As I said, I love building connections. We have evolved from tribes, right? We are literally better together. We are more protected if you're talking in a tribal sense. Being in a community gives us a sense of belonging. It gives us support. It makes us feel loved. It allows us to love. It connects us to something. That's why religion's been around for so long. That's why we play sport and we follow teams, because we're part of something. We are better together, and I am assuming that all of us are finding that a lot more now that we're in this pandemic, and sometimes we can't be as connected as we would like, but that's why I believe, that's why community is so important. What is a community? It's not just your family, but that's probably your first real understanding of community. It is sharing experiences, it's telling stories, it's laughing, it's supporting one another. So that could be in any scenario. That could be at a gym. You can create good connections and meaningful connections, meaningful friendships at a gym. It could be at work. You spend so much time at work. It could also be over social media, because, you know, over social media we do find people that we get along with a lot more. It just opens up our net to the wider net, literal net, to find people that we want to connect with, that we want to talk to, that we find interesting. So yeah, it's not just a community centre. It's really just sharing things with people, being vulnerable, being authentic. Community is about being people-centered. So it's not about just yourself. It's about being kind to others. It's about being compassionate. It's about listening to people and really focusing on other people and drawing all of these stories, all of these experiences together. Again, that's why religions work. That's why it works in a gym, because you're all there doing one thing, but you're all very different. You start talking because it's chit chat just between reps and stuff like that. Or that's why group classes work sometimes. So community, yeah, it's something shared. It's something to belong to. It's something to get value out of and to add value to. And why do we need, and if you think that we don't need community, if you think that we are okay by ourselves, just think of the greatest moments that bring us joy. We're surrounded by people that are in our lives. A marriage, we invite our nearest and dearest. Birthdays, we usually invite nearest and dearest. And if you don't like your birthdays, there's always going to be that one person or a few people that try and make it special. community isn't just for the extroverted as well. Community doesn't have to be a lot of people, but it is a support network. So once you've made those meaningful connections, it's all about, again, feeling supported, feeling known to someone, feeling understood. Doesn't have to be big groups of people. And community it's synchronized activity, right? So that's why you have singing in churches. That's why you have large sporting events. Everyone there for the same thing. It produces an endorphin effect. So community and connection is really just as good for your well-being as exercise. It produces the same hormone. So if you feel like you are a little bit isolated right now, and if it's physically not possible to reach out and build a community, you can definitely do some of this online or practice some of this sort of compassion and kindness. Pick up the phone to someone, send someone a letter, write someone an email, and just really try and connect with the people around you, so that you can feel this endorphin rush. You can feel this oxytocin release if you're kind to someone. It's so important to us. Now, what is a meaningful connection? So not just any connection of small talk, chit chat. It's really that click moment. You have them with, you know what I mean. It's about you being vulnerable and someone listening to that vulnerability and supporting that and helping you through it. Then it's you listening to someone else's experiences and hearing about their different childhood to yours. It's someone making you feel safe. I know I've got a few friends over here that would be the first thing, that would be the first description I give about them as my friend. They make me feel safe. As soon as I walk into their house, as soon as I see their face, I feel safer. Meaningful connections are compassionate. You care about that person, but and they care about you. It's that empathy that you have for someone. It's people that lift us up and give us more energy. It's about the people that make you laugh. You laugh till your face hurts, till your stomach hurts, until you cry. It's the people that inspire you, and not just your role models that you've never met. It's those people in the everyday that you think, geez, you're great. That's a meaningful connection. It's someone that you could build into your community. With your meaningful connections, you are your most open, authentic self, and you can communicate openly to these people. So that's what I mean about meaningful connections. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about the power of connection. The power of community allows you to feel safe. It allows you to feel supported. It inspires you. They allow you to be your most authentic, genuine, vulnerable self, but in a good way, and in a way that fills your heart with love and gives you that sense of belonging. It's the people that hold space for you. In my coaching sessions with my clients, I always talk about me holding space for them, and then they go out and they really connect with the people that bring them joy. It's if they're looking to change a habit, if they're looking to feel better about themselves, it's surrounding yourself with the people that do all of these things for you, that are going to build you up, that are going to give you the energy to carry on when you're having a bad day, that lights your face up, that when they walk into a room or you hear them on the phone or you see a text message from them. I really, really push this with my coaching clients, because it's something that I've seen time and time again with them, that if they surround themselves, if they build their community out to be with meaningful connections, then they get so much more out of life, and they get so much more out of everyday interactions. So I cannot stress to you enough how much I think that meaningful connections and good relationships are key to living your best life, as I would say. And in his TED talk about the adult development study, Dr. Robert Waldinger talks about the main results that the thing that comes out of this 75-year, the longest running study on humans, the thing that comes out, what they've learned the most is that good relationships keep us happier and healthier. And he talks about 3 pillars that he's really that they've really learnt, and one is that good relationships, social connections, good social connections are good for us, and that loneliness can kill. It's quite toxic, really, because it makes you go within yourself and not really care for anything else around you. They've also learned that it's the quality of those connections, so that is your meaningful connections. And then the last one is that good relationships protect your brain. So people in their 80s who are still in healthy, good relationships, who have a good support network around them, they're still sharp. Their memories are still good. And the people in their 80s that are a little bit more isolated and lonely, then they have had brain function decline, and so their memory isn't as good, and they don't function as well as the other guys. So that's really interesting, and that's a reason why I wanted to talk to you and run this webinar today, because there's science out there, there's research out there that community and connections make us happier and healthier. Physically healthier, because in this study, as I said, they scan the brains, they take bloods, they do questionnaires of the participants, of the men and of their spouses and children, so they can absolutely prove that these guys are physically healthier and they are mentally happier. So it's all about your connections. And then to flip that, as I said, I read the book Together by Dr. Murty, and he talks about how loneliness, even when he was appointed Surgeon General, the 49th Surgeon General to the US government, when he was doing his rounds of the country and getting a handle on the health issues that were affecting Americans, he was astounded by how many people had suffered from loneliness, from the feeling of feeling of isolation, and even as in couples, isolated from their own community. So he really worked on, or tried to work on that, and he's now written a book, and it's all about his research and who he spoke to and how people got themselves out of that loneliness feeling, and he's an amazing guy, and it's an eye-opening book to read, so I urge you to read it. But loneliness isn't just about being alone. I live alone. Well, I've got my doggo now, but I live alone, and this time last year I was very lonely and very isolated. We're now in a global pandemic, and I'm in Melbourne, and we're stage 4 restrictions, so I can go out for an hour a day, and I'm not lonely. I actively invest in my connections, in my community. So I reach out when I need to. I'm in a good mindset, but that's not always the case. And loneliness is a feeling of not being connected, no sense of belonging, and no real support. So I definitely don't feel those things anymore, but I did do, and I wholeheartedly agree that physically being alone doesn't mean that you have to be lonely, but vice versa. You could be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. So it is a case of that belonging and being connected. And as I say, it's an absent social support network, and then it comes down to having the inability to feel empathy or care for others. So that's when it becomes really detrimental to your own health and well-being, because you're not caring for yourself because you don't feel anybody else does, and then you're not being compassionate to anyone else, so you're not being kind, so you're not getting those love hormones. If you're not connecting with anyone, you're not getting those endorphins. So it really is a knock-on effect, and if you're not feeding your brain with those good hormones, then you're not going to feel good about yourself, and then physically you're not going to be good. So it's a downward spiral, really, in terms of your overall well-being. So I urge you, if you are feeling a little bit lonely, I know there's lots of mums out there that sometimes it can be, most of my clients, most of my coaching clients are mums, and I know it can be really isolating when you are doing all the things for everyone else, especially now when you don't have mothers groups to actually be able to go to, or if your kids are older, you don't have friends to connect with actually physically. This can be a really lonely time, but I'm here to give you some tips on how to combat that. Obviously, the biggest one is get a wellness coach. It's actively listening to other people and taking yourself out of your own situation and reducing your thoughts and just clearing your mind and just being present in someone else's sphere for a minute, and doing kind things for them, because as I said, it releases the love hormone oxytocin. And it's also understanding your core values and your identity. What do you want? How do you need someone to support you? What would make you feel supported, and what would make you feel involved in something? So where can you get that from? Is it reaching out to a health and wellness coach? Is it reaching out to another new mum? I've really stayed away from talking about how technology disconnects us, because I don't think that it has to do that. And I have definitely given the advice to some people, some clients, that in this time, that maybe it is a case of Facebook groups and just dropping in a question to a new mum or to a mum about, we were talking about the other day, weaning babies off of the milk onto solid foods. Until I don't have children. But it's reaching out, and it might, and as I said, it might be over the internet at the moment, but it's picking up the phone to a friend that you might not have spoken to in a couple of years, but they've got a new baby, or you see on social media that they've started running. If you want to start running, maybe you can join their group, or maybe you can run together, depending on where you are. If you're in Melbourne, you probably can't do that, but hopefully you catch my drift. What drives you? If you want to get fit, then maybe it is a case of joining a gym or doing an online class with people. if your core values are all to do with sort of self-development right now, or learning to cook a bit better, how can you do that? Can you join a cooking class and stuff like that? It's really figuring out what you want, what will make you feel involved and connected, and going from there. As I said, wellness coach can definitely help you with that, because you talk, I listen, and I can draw things out and give you a different perspective, and help you with any sort of identity crisis or core values that you might be struggling with. I am running a 30-minute Wake Up Your Wellbeing call right now, so you can do that for free, and we can really just have a chat and see what's going on for you right now if you are feeling lonely. So please do reach out if that is something that you're interested in. And if that all does seem a little bit overwhelming, my advice is to actually just be kind to strangers. A smile while you're on a dog walk to someone, connect with your butcher, have a conversation with them about business, ask your barista how their day is, talk to them about their coffee. Everyone wants a chat. They really, really do. I love a good chat. Just ask my mum. Talk to your shoe repairman. Ask the waiter how their day was. Just start small, and I promise you it will make you feel better, even if you're a little bit introverted. It could just be a smile. It could just be a please or a thank you when someone's not expecting it. So please, please, please take my advice and be a little bit kinder, connect with strangers. And I've written it down here. If you want to read more about loneliness or get some inspiration, or just if you're really in the thick of it at the moment and you think there's no way out, there's some stories in here where people have been in prison, they've been suicidal, they've lost everything, and they've come back from the brink of disaster, and they're now doing well. So if this is resonating with you, if the idea of loneliness or feeling really isolated is resonating with you, or you think it's resonating with someone else, please, please, please do pick up that book together. It's so wonderful. It's so well written. I actually listened to it on Audible for most of it. And Dr. Vivek has a very soothing voice, so it's actually really nice to listen to too. Now, I feel like I have, yes, it's nearly half an hour babbling on, so I'm just going to leave you, I think I'll leave you with this quote by Gandhi: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I do this job because I love it, but my job definitely helped me last year, running wellness workshops, connecting with clients, and helping them. Whenever I've had a bad day, I jump on a call with a client, and I absolutely never end my day in a bad mood, because I talk to so many wonderful people, and we hash out their hopes and dreams and wellness goals, and I'm always left off from the call elated. And same when I do my own coaching with my business coach. She's a mindset coach too, so she always flips me on my head even if I'm in a low mood. So being of service, I suppose because I am in the service industry, being of service to others definitely helps me stay happy, and then allows me to invest in my connections and keep my social support network and community strong. So please, 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 please take Gandhi's advice and lose yourself in others. So my take-home message: lean into making more meaningful connections. We're always talking about leaning in, or people are always talking about leaning in at work and leaning into a feeling and stuff like that. But just really focus, let August be the focus of leaning into meaningful connections and building a community, both, as I said, both on and offline. I'm not here to advocate one or the other, and I'm definitely not here to say that get off of your devices. That's a whole separate issue if we're talking about sleep and stuff like that. But I'm definitely not here to say that meaningful connections have to be face-to-face. And reaching out is the first step, right? And so it's never too late to build more connections. I moved to Australia 8 years ago, and I've got I've got a very, very meaningful set of connections and friends and a community. And so at 28, 27, when I moved, I had to rebuild it all. So it's never too late. And I know people that have done it later in life as well. So please, please, please don't write yourself off. Go out there and try and connect. And if you do need any help with that, please feel free to reach out to me. I definitely, as I've said, I definitely wholeheartedly will push you to do this and give you the tools to do it. And being heard, feeling supported, sharing love is so important in life. And I really hope that this is my babbling has helped you understand that a little bit more. And in terms of your loneliness and finding your own identity and your core values, I just leave you with this. Purpose is our unique gift that we bring to the world. It gives us clarity, focus, and confidence to transform a constant threat into an opportunity. Now, I say that because we all put on this earth for something, to bring something to someone, and to have a relationship with someone. So any sort of relationship. So everyone has a purpose, everyone has an opportunity, and everyone has a gift. So please remember that when you are feeling a little bit low and a little bit lonely. So, where to find me? I run a Facebook group, Wake Up Your Wellbeing. I drop different things in there about our overall well-being. Today was a quote from Winnie the Pooh. I drop a lot of offers in there. My Instagram, I post daily, and that's just adding value to helping you live your best life. If you wanted to contact me and you wanted any more information on the resources that I've spoken about today, or you wanted more information about working with me, then please drop me an email. Or if you just wanted to have a look anymore, just my website's there. It's All the Wellness Hall. So I'm very easy to find. And as I said, if you want any additional help, please reach out. As I said, I'm doing a 30-minute Wake Up Your Wellbeing call at the moment. We'll sit there, we'll talk about you, all about you, what makes you tick, and what you want, what would make you feel that you are living your best life. And people really get lots of value out of it, and I'm excited to work with new people, and I've got quite a lot of time on my hands right now because we're in lockdown. So please reach out. Let me help you, but help me to help you. Because I love it. And I will leave you with this as well because I love this roll dial. If you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams, and you will always look lovely. So I'm going to leave you with that. Hope you have enjoyed this, and I look forward to hearing from some of you. Hopefully, please send me any sort of message to tell me if you found this beneficial. Okay, have a lovely evening. Much love.